Hi guys, in this video we're going to cover multiplying and dividing fractions. So here we're going to work out this multiplication here, but before we get there, I'm just going to ask a few questions. So if 2 times 4 is kind of like the saying I have 2 of these 4s, and 3 times 4 is the same as 3 of these 4s, then 1/2 times 4 is 1/2 of these 4s. There's a key word that I want us to know when we start multiplying fractions, and that is that in all these cases, of means times. Okay? So in maths, when we start dealing with fractions and percentages, parts of amounts, of means times, and we're going to use that a lot later. But let's now have a look at this 1/2 times 4. Well, we could rewrite this 4 as a fraction simply by putting the number over 1, and I end up with 1/2 times 4 over 1. Now the rule for multiplying is that we multiply fractions across. We multiply the top, we multiply the bottom. And so we'll end up with 1 times 4 and 2 times 1, which gives us 4 over 2, which can simplify down to 2 over 1, and anything over 1 is equal to itself, and our final answer is 2. So let's now deal with this top one. We multiply across. 6 times 8 is 48, and 3 times 4 is 12. Now we can simplify this because there is a common factor here. The highest common factor is in fact 12. We have 1/12 and 12 down the bottom. And at the top here we have 4. And remember, anything over 1 is itself. So our final answer here is 4. So 6/3 of 8/4 is 4. Now if we simplified this further, we would see 6 times 3 is 2. And that is times 2, 8 over 4. There's 2 4s and 8. There's 2 3s and 6. And of course the answer is 4. So multiplying fractions is easy. We just have to remember to multiply along the top, multiply along the bottom. However, dividing is a little bit trickier at first. What we need to know is this word reciprocal. What does reciprocal mean? The reciprocal of a number is 1 divided by that number. So for example, here, the reciprocal of 2 is 1 divided by 2, which is 1/2. Now, if 2 can be written as 2 over 1, and its reciprocal 1/2 is 1 over 2, what do we notice? The reciprocal is in fact the fraction flipped upside down. So here's a division problem. 4 divided by 1/2. Well, that's the same as saying how many halves fit into 4. Now, the answer to that is 8 because we have 2 halves in 1, 3, 4 to get to 2, 5, 6 is 3, 7, 8 halves fit into 4. Now, here's another question. 4 divided by 1/3. How many thirds fit into 4? So we have 3 for every 1, and the answer is 12. Now the question is there a pattern we can see between these numbers and the answers we are getting? 4 and 2 and 8, 4 and 3 and 12. Well, notice that 4 times 2 is 8, and 4 times 3 is 12. So if we were to multiply by the reciprocal, it's the same as dividing by the original number. So now, my 4 could be multiplied by 2 over 1, and that would give me the answer 8 over 1, and the final answer, of course, of 8. And that is the exact same answer as dividing by 1/2. So here, 4 divided by 1/3, that's the same as saying, well, 4 over 1, times 3 over 1. Now these are both over 1, so they are just themselves. So 4 times 3 is 12. So here are some for you to practice. Pause the video and do these, and then I will put the answers up. So here are the answers. Just quickly notice that when we're multiplying, we're asking ourselves the word of here. So what is 1/2 of 2/3? That's why our answer is 1/3. It's smaller than 2/3. Because when we multiply a fraction, we're actually getting a small amount when it's less than 1. Let's have a look at this one over here. So 1/4 of 2/5 is 1/10. So now we've got a lot smaller slices and we've only got one of them. It's a much smaller fraction, but that's because that's 1/4 of 2/5. So it's going to be a smaller amount. And just a reminder again, for our division, we simply take the second fraction here, we flip it over to its reciprocal, and we multiply the two together to get our answer.